Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
The lovely SDA is joining us as well. Say hello.
Hello.
And the fourth Beetle is back. Satsu's with us. Say hi, Sat.
What's that? What the
Fourth
fuck was that,
Beetle.
Scribe?
The fourth Beetle.
For those of you who are my Twitter followers, and I'll put it in the chat here for a second for those that aren't, Monkey provided me with a very lovely gift today, and that was Grand Monkey saying, "Hi, Scribe."
Oh,
And
wow.
so I could add that as a tail into my my opening sequence, and so I was so happy to get that. It was so great, and I've added it to the opening, so it'll be part of the videos going forward. So I'll put a link in there. It's unlisted. It's not for everybody's consumption, but I'll put in the chat here in a second for everybody else to see.
Well, you've mentioned a few times that you needed a clip of her saying that, so he was downstairs today when I was doing a little bit of recording, so I was like, "Come here, you."
That's great.
I also got her saying, "Your life makes me sad."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
That was so
Oh,
good.
my God.
Whoa,
You didn't tell me you were inviting Satsu.
whoa, what's that?
Satsu, what's going on in your sound there, bud?
Whoa, feedback's killing me. Yeah, that was painful. What was that?
Was that one of your trains? Oh,
He's running
muted himself.
He's running a train during the stream. Holy cow!
Satsu's running a train.
Oh my god!
Monkey, you didn't tell me that you were inviting Satsu.
I wasn't sure if we were or not, because we invited him last night and he couldn't make it, and he'd hit me up a little bit earlier when I was not on, and so I threw the invite about 5 minutes ago. So
I'm not
I
sure
would've
what that
been
was.
10 times more excited had you told me ahead of time to stream today.
Well, it was a surprise.
Yeah,
See?
well, I'm happy about it. I hope everybody else is happy about it. Stream is super complete with the fourth Beetle.
Yay.
well,
I'm
not
glad
only
to be
that, I actually have a deep. Oh, we're getting feedback again. What
Is it?
Are you-
What is it?
Yeah, it's this humming something in the background of you.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay. Yeah, my ears are so sensitive. It's just like what is that?
For those of you who want to hear Grand Monkey say "Your life is so sad," that's over in the chat now too. Or "Your life makes me sad." We do have a deep topic tonight, which is unusual. And Scribe, I did homework for the stream today.
You did what?
I know, right? I assume one of your news topics is going to be Trump's speech.
I don't know. I've got a article about Trump talking about healthcare.
Oh, they
But-
didn't. You don't. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I actually have news that you don't.
I just grabbed what was available on what was top row on CNN in the last 20 minutes. So if there's something else going on, I don't know.
Hopefully
I'm
that fixed
surprised I
it.
didn't.
Is
Get a
that-
little hum.
There's this background noise that's just like humming in the background of your world.
It's so weird.
It's kind of okay. It's decreased now. I don't know what it was, but yeah, a minute ago it was like really getting up into feedback territory.
Okay, yeah, because Squishy's here. She got the fan on behind me, but it's not
That
like
might be
blowing at
it.
me.
Well, see, now you sound good now.
Okay. Well, just let me know.
All right.
Okay. So let's get into the news.
Well, why don't you start with your story since you're so much more
Sure.
more superior than I am in news finding today.
Well, not superior in news finding. This was something I've been waiting for. Donald Trump came out with his tax plan today,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it's actually pretty interesting. This is some of what he is proposing is. Let me just say there were a couple of times I went, "Oh wow." Let's see. First, let's start. This might be in your story about healthcare, but at the beginning of this speech, Donald Trump said they have the votes for Graham Cassidy. Which for those of you who don't know, that's the latest effort to repeal and replace Obamacare. The weird part about that is they just decided not to have the vote because they didn't have the votes.
Right.
So I don't know what he's talking about. What he said is that They're going to wait till the beginning of the year because reconciliation will kick back in. That's where you don't have to have 60 votes. You just have to have 50, which is what the rule was when they just decided not to vote. But he assures us he has the votes. So yeah, it was kind of weird. He also called on Republicans to just get away or get rid of the filibuster, which I thought was odd.
Well, they do that every session. They talk
Well,
about
that's
trying
an
to get rid of the filibuster.
interesting move, though, because Republicans have been using filibusters a lot recently.
They're not going to get rid of it. No party in power, no minority out of power wants to get rid of the filibuster.
Well, yeah, of course not. It's just interesting that he would even propose that because filibustering has been a Republican Party thing, you know, because they were the minority for a minute. So that's been like a big thing for the Republicans for a good while right now. So it's weird
Frankly,
that they're like, let's get rid of it.
I like the filibuster for the most part.
Yeah, I don't have
I
an
think it's
issue
funny.
with it.
It's kind of fucked up because it's not what it's not how it should work. You shouldn't be able to just sit there and talk and keep something from happening without actually saying anything.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing when you actually examine like what it is and what it does. It's actually like a really weird way to do stuff, but it is amusing, that's for sure.
Do you have headphones on set? Because we're getting that feedback again.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what it might be.
Okay.
It sounds like the background noise on the Starship Enterprise.
It kind of does, yeah. The little hum. But getting into his tax plan, the first, he's got four parts that he said, and the first one is kind of a big deal. They want to make the first $12,000 of income tax free for a single individual.
Huh.
The first 24,000 for a couple, which almost doubles the current standard deduction.
Right. So judging you kind of as an individual, even if you're still a couple, really, because you still get the same individual treatment.
Well, what it would do is it would eliminate the marriage tax or the marriage penalty, and it would just give a standard for everybody. It's 12,000 for you, 24,000 if there's two of you.
Which
he also wants to increase the child tax credit. So there's a lot of tax cuts there, and he wants to have tax rates of 12%, 25%, and 35%. And then there's this little part he snuck in where he says where Congress is going to authorize a new top marginal tax rate. So something higher than this 35%. Now I know this is tax stuff and it's kind of boring, guys, but this is huge, the stuff he's talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking about. There's no
talking about, yes.
There's no guarantee that any of this will actually get through. I mean, it's interesting that he's proposing it, but he's got unless there's something we don't know about, he doesn't have any more juice in trying to get this passed than he does with trying to repeal Obamacare.
Well, I would disagree with that because that's going to be a pretty popular tax plan.
That's the part I want to see because there's another part he talks about. He wants to he's talking about eliminating most loopholes, which he goes is not good for me. Trust me. It was funny. Great Trump moment there. But anytime a Republican promotes a tax plan, it's always, oh, that's for the rich. And since Donald Trump is the rich, I assume this is going to be, oh, this is just great for Donald Trump.
Well, if you're getting rid of loopholes, then it's absolutely not good for him specifically, or I mean, depending on what you consider good. But especially given the fact that even if you're a couple or married to somebody, that you're still going to be treated as an individual rather than being treated differently because of your marital status, that kind of thing. And the different caps and the different brackets that they're proposing, yeah, it's going to be a popular tax plan.
We got the humming going on again.
Is it going on again? That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah. And Monkey, you've missed a couple of super chats.
Okay, let me go back here and see. I saw Mash is there. Did I miss another one? Oh, yep, I did right there. Thank you, Sanguine. So is he Ringo or George? Satsu's funny, so he's got to be Ringo. Ringo's funny.
Yeah, which one of the Beatles are we all? I want to know.
You're George.
Why am I George?
Sorry,
You're the quiet one that doesn't talk all the time.
You got to be Jorge.
Yeah, I'll be Jorge. Fine.
Yeah, I don't know what to
we'll let
do
everybody
with
else
the,
decide.
She even turned off the
Fine.
fan. I have no idea what it is.
Are you sitting close to your speakers, or do you have a mic up really loud?
No, like I got headphones on so I can hear you guys so you won't come out of my computer. And I'm talking to the regular mic that I always use. So I don't know.
See, like right now, there's no hum. It's weird. It comes and goes.
It could be because like I'm muting my mic and unmuting it because you guys were saying the hum. It might be because like every time I mute it and unmute it, like my gain goes up really high for a while and then goes back down. That could be it. But I'll just leave it unmuted so that way we won't have
Well,
to
how about you use the if you're going to mute yourself, just use the mute button on the control panel for Chrome or the Hangout, so you don't have to mess with your mic physically.
Well, let me try it and see if that works. I'm going to mute it. And now I unmuted it. Any hum?
No,
Nope, not really.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do it this way instead of the other way.
Thank you, Mashushu. Attention chat. Give Dad at Ranting Monkey a chance to recover. So no nip twisting today. Thank you. It's not so much that I need a chance to recover. It's that Lady Monkey's still not feeling well. She went to bed early, so there's nobody here to do it. And I sure as hell am not squeaking my own nipples.
Yep.
You don't want to back it up again and just have
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. That many in a row was fucking miserable.
That was so fucking funny.
Send Monkey a super chat so he can buy me a new mic.
Just a couple more points on the tax plan. He says he wants the plan that they're proposing would get rid of most line item deductions. Thank you, sir, Adamantine. Hey, Monkey and gang. Also, everything is better with Satsu. I love Satsu. Love Satsu. Glad he's with us. Yay. Trump says under the new plan, most of us would just have a single sheet filing. If you're doing like a 1040 or 1040A, you would just have one sheet. He also wants to get rid of the alternative minimum tax, the estate tax, and again, he went into how he's going to renegotiate trade deals because they're horrible for us.
I really want to get rid of the estate tax too. I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
It is pretty shit.
It's pretty dirty too when you think about it.
He talked about he would cap the corporate tax rate at 20%, the small sole proprietor tax rate at 25%, and for the next 5 years, any machinery of business buys for their business, they could take a deduction for it immediately, where normally they have to spread it out over several years. They could take it, bam, right now off their taxes. And then there's just one more thing I want to talk about that he did, or that he wants to do. He wants to have a one-time, basically tax forgiveness. That's my wording, not his. But for all of the capital sitting offshore, he wants to lower the rate for having money in banks here, and there'll be a one-time forgiveness for bringing money back.
I think that would be beneficial.
I think it would. I mean, depending on what rate they ended up with, I think it could get a lot of people to bring their money back here.
Because a lot of people do offshore stuff, obviously, because the tax rates are so much lower elsewhere in that aspect.
Sure, but the only issue I have there is money sitting in a bank doesn't help anybody anyway. So other than fattening the wallet of whoever owns that money, it doesn't do much. So bringing it back and spending it is what we actually need, not just bringing it back.
Right.
So that's the basics of his tax plan. Wasn't a great speech, wasn't a horrible one, and he claims, as Trump often does, that people love it so far, but we'll have to see.
I am more than pessimistic that Trump can get enough Republican support to actually back it in some of the cases. I mean, because there's several details there that Republicans are not going to go for. There's several details in there that Democrats are not going to go for. And given the hit that Mitch McConnell's just taken in effectively losing the Roy Moore, Luther Strange deal, I don't know that there's a leader in the Republican Party that could muster enough votes to pass parts of that, maybe. I don't know. But like I say, unless or until something's signed on the dotted line, it's just rhetoric from Trump at this stage of the game.
Terry Diamante says, don't banks invest money people keep with them? Wouldn't that help the economy too? Yes and no. Mostly it helps them. They're not investing in small businesses. They're investing in known quantities because they don't want to lose money. And, you know, investing in Coke is not helping Coke. It's not
Hey,
causing.
It worked for Scarface.
Yes. But yeah, that was Trump's tax plan that he outlined today. And it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, because this is supposed to be what they're working on for the rest of the year. So there are things in there that both parties should like. And if they can actually compromise, guys, this is where compromise actually comes in, because Scribe is right. There's things in there Republicans like, things that Democrats like, and things that they both hate. Yeah. So it would be a compromise to get something like this passed.
Well, that's what I noticed too. When you were listing them off, I'm like, man, it sounds like this is going to make both sides either really happy or very upset. But it does sound like there's room where we could be like, okay, well, if you take that away, then we'll take this away, or some shit like that.
I'm really even. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I agree with Satsu, and I'm really optimistic about it because I think there's a lot of room for compromise, because I think there's a lot of stuff that both sides have been begging for. And so I think that there's a lot of room for them to work together. And until it gets fucked up, I'm not going to be a pessimist about it, because, you know, you have to hope that things are going to get better. And I think there's a lot for both sides to work with.
Yeah, it's not too often that you get to see, you know, people be able to pick through, because like most of the shit you see, especially depending on what the president or whoever's in charge represents, it's mostly geared toward their interests. Like they make sure, and they're like, I need to gear it towards my interest in my party. But then again, Trump doesn't technically have a party. He's like anti-establishment, right? Like, or some shit like that.
Theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically speaking. So.
Scribe, what were you saying there?
I was just going to say it's to be a little cliche about it, I don't consider it to be pessimism so much as realism, and I have hope. I mean, cynicism requires hope. You have to be cynical. You have to have some kernel of hope that things can return or move on to something better. The problem is that yes, what Monkey described or listed off, there are elements that the Democrats could get behind, and there are elements that the Republicans could get behind. But ultimately, it's going to come down to, do any Democrats or Republicans want to be seen as compromising with the enemy? Everything's so polarized right now that even if in a even playing field, there could be some, you know, horse trading compromise bill reached that has, let's say, 50% of whatever Trump just proposed. The way things are hashed out right now in our political culture, for lack of a better word, mm-hmm. I don't know if that is a wall that any majority on either side is willing to climb, given the midterms coming up. So, yeah, I mean, pie in the sky, sure. It'd be nice if something changed, good, bad, or otherwise, just for the sake of movement. But like I say, I would be surprised if this went any further than the Obama or the Obamacare repeal.
There was a funny part of that. He actually invoked Reagan during this speech. And I thought that was a great play for the Republicans to try to push them, because truthfully speaking, I think this would be good for Republicans for them to pass it. Even if they just, with what he said right there, if Republicans would just pass it hands down, I think it would actually help them in the midterms, because one, it would show they're doing something. And two, things like the estate tax have been a major talking point since at least Clinton. So I mean, it would show them getting some stuff done. But you're right, with our political climate where you're not allowed to agree with the enemy ever, it will be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, and invoking Reagan's weird, because Reagan, I mean, counter to the usual line of conservatism and Republicans, Reagan raised taxes.
Well, what he
on several occasions. So
what he specifically brought up was that Reagan. He also brought up John Kennedy. He brought up both of them changing the tax code while working with a, not necessarily a adversarial Congress, but in like Reagan's case, they were Democrats, and in Kennedy's case, yeah, at the time, talking about tax cuts with Democrats was like no. So he brought them up at a good point, but it was interesting to see him invoke Reagan. So what do we have for other news?
Monkey Dick Jim Jones movies. Hit that like button, and if you like what we do, all four of us, what we do, please share our stuff, because YouTube isn't helping us out in that regard anymore. And just because I forgot to mention at the top, anybody and everybody in the chat now, or that might come in later, that had an ad outstanding from last night, I have them all done, and I will be using the entirety of my YouTube time to cover those when we get there. So that aside, well, the other Trump thing I had was that he's holding over another executive order.
Uh-oh, which one?
Trump intends to sign executive order on health care next week.
Really?
Yeah, so hear this. President Trump is taking the future of healthcare insurance into his own hands. A day after Congress's last-ditch attempt to repeal Obamacare failed, Trump said he may soon sign an executive order on healthcare that would affect millions of people. Quote, I'll probably be signing a very major executive order where people can go out, cross state lines, do lots of things, and buy their own health care, and that will probably be signed next week, he told reporters Wednesday. It's being finished now. It's going to cover a lot of territory and a lot of people, millions of people, unquote.
He can't do that.
Can't he?
No, the reason...
I don't know. It's an executive order. Why can't he?
He can't do that.
Well, he can sign that executive order, but the problem is the reason that you can't buy insurance across state lines is because each state has their own set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you're in, say, Indiana and I'm in Michigan, I can't buy your policy if it doesn't cover the things that my state says have to be covered. Okay.
Let's see. Let me skip down to where they actually bring that up, because they, well, let's see. I'll give the, hold on, let me find the right spot here to start over. The concept of letting insurers sell policies in other states has been very popular among Republicans and much less popular among insurers, state regulators, and consumer advocates. The basic idea is that insurers would be able to sell policies in multiple states, but only have to adhere to the regulations of their home state. So an insurer from a lightly regulated state, where policies may offer skimpier benefits and lower premiums, could start marketing its plans in a highly regulated state where premiums tend to be higher. Now, moving down to where what Monkey's question is, it's questionable whether Trump could just wipe away state insurance rules with a stroke of a pen, experts say. Health insurance is regulated on the state level according to federal law. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners said it can't comment until it sees the details of the proposed executive order. Quote, as a general matter, health insurers already have the ability to sell insurance in multiple states as long as they comply with state consumer protection and licensing laws, which many already do. The NAIC has long been opposed to any attempt to reduce or preempt state authority or weaken consumer protections. Rand Paul also supports association health plans, which would allow small businesses that belong to a trade or professional association to pool together across state lines and buy health coverage. That would allow them to better leverage discounts and free them from mandates in specific states, he argues. But similar types of arrangements have run into financial troubles in the past, with many becoming insolvent. Also, association health plans could also fragment the market because it could establish itself in a state with minimal regulations, but sell policies across many states without having to adhere to their rules, according to the American Academy of Actuaries. That would push up premiums in non-association plans. Yeah, so they didn't say he can't do it. They say we have to wait to see what he says, which means he conceivably could? Because if he can't, if it's literally a matter he cannot do that, wouldn't they just say he can't with an executive order?
Well, what would happen is he could sign it, and then one of the states involved would have to sue, and it'd go to the Supreme Court, and they would tell him he can't do it. They're absolutely right about how some insurers do go across state lines, but they still have to adhere to each state. Like Blue Cross. Blue Cross is in most states, but a Blue Cross plan in, say, California, I don't know if they're actually there, but in California would be different than one in Michigan. You could have Blue Cross in both states, but you couldn't buy a California plan in Michigan because you have to adhere to your state regulations. So yeah, he could do it because he's the president and he can sign any fucking executive order he wants, but it doesn't mean it'll stay around and survive legal challenges.
Let's see. So aside from that, the other two that popped up, that caught my eye, was an exclusive at CNN, I guess, even though I've seen it elsewhere. Russia bot, that's Russian hash bot, Black Lives Matter ad on Facebook targeted Baltimore and Ferguson. So a Russian purchased Black Lives Matter ad. Okay. At least one of the Facebook ads bought by Russians during the 2016 presidential campaign referenced Black Lives Matter and was specifically targeted to reach audiences in Ferguson, Missouri, and Baltimore, sources with knowledge of the ads told CNN. Ferguson and Baltimore had gained widespread attention for the large and violent protests, you mean riots, over police shootings of black men. The decision to target the ad in those two cities offers the first look at how accounts linked to the Russian government-affiliated troll farm known as the Internet Research Agency, the IRA, use geographically targeted advertising to sow political chaos in the United States, the sources said. Okay, anybody who's never used Facebook ads before, targeting specific areas or demographics or anything, that's part and parcel with Facebook ads. That's not some nefarious hacking job or something. That's your option if you are an advertiser. So they weren't doing anything beyond what Facebook already allows or anybody to do with an advertisement, just for clarification. Facebook has previously said that roughly 1/4 of the 3,000 ads bought by the agency were geographically targeted, but it has not revealed any specific locations. Facebook has also not revealed which demographic groups and interest groups were targeted by the ads. Again, you can put in keywords, you can set specific age groups, you can set a specific city or whatever. That's all part of Facebook's makeup in the first place. So the Black Lives Matter ad appeared on Facebook at some point in late 2015 or early 2016, the sources said. The sources said it appears the ad was meant to appear both as supporting Black Lives Matter, but could also be seen as portraying the group as threatening to some residents of Baltimore and Ferguson. Okay.
How was it threatening?
I'm trying to wait and see if they give us like the actual ad or the text of, but new descriptions of the Russian bot ad shared with CNN suggest that the apparent goal of the Russian buyers was to amplify political discord and fuel an atmosphere of incivility and chaos, though not necessarily to promote one candidate or cause over another.
Real quick, thank you, Sanguine. Man, the left is going to be confused as fuck with that. Russia bad, but BLM is noble bunch of freedom fighters.
Yeah.
It depends on how they presented it.
Let's see.
They don't include the ad?
Not so far. These range from posts promoting Black Lives Matter to posts promoting gun rights, and the Second Amendment to posts warning about what they said was the threat undocumented immigrants pose to American democracy. Okay, so they posted ads that hit a whole bunch of different political buttons that were possibly counterproductive towards one another, etc.
Yeah.
They're increasing hype for politically sensitive issues on Facebook. And Facebook took their money. Okay.
As Flavor Flav said, don't believe the hype, y'all.
You see, the thing is, I don't see what they could have done as far as putting an ad up about Black Lives Matter, gun rights, or immigration that Joe Schmo American hasn't been posting about it themselves for the last, 2 years or whatever.
But Scribe, it was a Russian.
I guess so, and they were trying to manipulate our political discourse. Gosh. We've never done that in any other country.
I just love that they were doing it with Facebook.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cheaper than sending a spy in or getting like some sleeper agents or trying to manipulate the media otherwise. I see, again, it's not like a two wrongs make a right thing here, but they didn't do anything that an average citizen couldn't do as far as buying ads and putting something up. Facebook wasn't stopping them from doing it simply because of the source. They took the money anyway. And so what? I don't see what the problem fundamentally is here. They weren't hacking anything. They weren't doing anything illegal. They paid for an ad. Facebook took the money and put it on their platform, which is a private company. It's not like they were insinuating themselves into a public institution or something.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I mean, let me, how do I want to say it? If a foreign country wants to tell us how we should vote, as an American, my thought is go fuck yourself. I'll do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
But also as an American, it's like, yeah, you have the right to say what you think.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with even if Vladimir Putin himself came out and said, I want you to vote for Trump, I would not have a problem with that.
Well, it reminds
on
me
a
when,
fundamental level.
it reminds me when Netanyahu came and spoke in front of Congress and told everybody not to make the Iran deal.
Oh, yeah.
Having a leader of a foreign government come to our country and into our legislature and dictate, well, not necessarily dictate, but lecture our representatives on how they should vote regarding American foreign policy, that rubbed me the wrong way just on sort of a manners level. Because can you imagine Obama going to the Israeli parliament and telling them how to operate? I mean, not that he doesn't do it behind closed doors to begin with, but to do it in public and everything else.
Well, yeah. Obama publicly spoke about Brexit.
Well, and Scribe, that might rub you the wrong way, but the Iran deal would affect Israel far more directly than it affects us. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I'm not arguing about the Iran deal. I'm talking about a
foreign leader telling us what we should be doing.
A foreign leader telling from one of our houses of government telling us how we should be running our foreign policy.
I understand that.
Okay, well, on speaking publicly about it, like Obama making a statement from the Rose Garden, or Netanyahu making a statement from Israeli government or something else about what he thinks America should do. Sure, but it's just untoward to me for a foreign leader, any foreign leader. I mean, the UN is where you do that kind of stuff, not inside the government, not inside the houses of government of that country as a foreign leader. And so that whole scenario just kind of went, eh. But that aside. Aside from the pomp and circumstance, I didn't have a problem with him saying it. It was just the procedure and how he did it. In this case, Russia paying for an ad on Facebook, I don't see what the scandal is, except Russia.
Well, Russia Trump, of course.
Well, yeah. Uh-huh.
Russia Trump. Don't forget, Russia is now tied to Trump. Anything Russia does, it's Trump's fault. Yeah,
except that Zuckerberg took Russia's money. So Zuckerberg, Russia?
Do you think he's going to give it back?
No.
A refund? Yeah, here's your rubles.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. Okay, Facebook has already handed over copies of the ads and information about the relevant accounts to Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who is conducting an investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 meddling. God, that word.
Meddling.
Yeah, I swear to God, the first time I ever heard that word was in Scooby-Doo cartoons.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
They're going to get us and our dog, too.
The
Jinxie.
Senate Intelligence Committee will also hear from Twitter on Thursday about how foreign nationals may have used its ad service to influence the 2016 election. Oh, God.
So essentially, the narrative here is Americans are stupid. They're going to believe whatever you put in front of them, and it's somehow Russia's fault.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. The electorate are a bunch of idiots. The Electoral College is actually rigged by Facebook ads and tweets.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I tell you what, if it is true, if they decide to prove that Facebook and Twitter are such bastions of public discourse that a foreign intelligence or foreign national getting into it is such a threat to our democracy, then they need to make Facebook and Twitter public utilities right now.
Yeah.
Because we can't have American corporations working with foreign nationals to wreck our culture. I want to see that argument get made by somebody. I'm not advocating. Well, I might be a little bit just for the sake of fun, but there's going to be a point at which your arguments about whether or not these companies can operate the way they do internationally against the interests of the United States, you can't have your cake and eat it too. At some point, you're going to have to say, well, either you're a corporation that can operate or take money from anywhere, or you're not. And if you're not, then you become part of the government. So, or something. I don't know. And lastly, what I had here was another weird sort of apology from Equifax. Equifax. Now, first and foremost, remember, Equifax is the one that got hacked. Equifax is the one that sat on it for a month and a half. Equifax is the one whose executives sold off their stock before the news broke. But now, Equifax to offer free program to lock and unlock credit files for life. Equifax says it will allow customers to lock and unlock access to their credit files for free and for life in what is the latest mea culpa from the company amid an ongoing cybersecurity scandal. The development was announced on Wednesday via a Wall Street Journal op-ed penned by interim CEO Paulino de Rejo Barros Jr. He took the reins at Equifax on Tuesday, replacing Richard Smith, who oversaw the company during a massive data breach that compromised the personal information of as many as 143 million people. In the wake of the scandal, affected customers had been advised to implement credit freezes. The move aims to block anyone from opening new accounts in your name. After a barrage of criticism for not taking immediate action to lift fees associated with implementing a credit freeze, Equifax said on September 11th it would waive the fees for the next 30 days. Now, according to Barros's op-ed, Equifax plans to extend that until the end of January 2018, at which point he says Equifax will offer, quote, a new service allowing all consumers the option of controlling access to their personal credit data. Wow, thanks for allowing me to control my own data. Thank you. You know what?
Watching Equifax try to fix this shit has been like watching a person get shot in the stomach with a shotgun and seeing them come with a different size Band-Aid every time to see. Like, they start off with the tiniest Band-Aid you can find, and they're just like, is this going to work? Nope, we got to get a bigger one.
That's like a perfect analogy.
Here's the silver lining, though. As shitty a company as Equifax is, they are one of the only three. Okay, as far as I know, they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Although they're going to be in litigation for the rest of their lives. But if they offer this service and carry through with it, the other two will have to as well to stay competitive.
Yeah, because that is controversy aside, that is really nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, now it is a thin silver lining next to the giant cloud of 143 million people being under threat for now until the end of their lives and even afterwards. Mm-hmm. But all things considered, if this turns into something where it's like, oh shit, I guess we should really let people control their own credit information and not be just hoarding it against their own whim. Like I say, it's like the weather. You can't control it now. You just have to go with the flow, unfortunately.
That's so funny, man. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I use analogies to pretty much explain everything to me. But just hearing this for people who have been affected, especially people who have already been hit or significantly breached or they've already been taken advantage of. It's when people say oh, well, at least there's a silver lining. I'm like, that's like watching your house burn down for 2 hours and then it starts raining. And you're just like, right. Oh, well, see, at least it's no, shut the fuck up.
I just don't think I think this will blow over, and in 2 years, nobody will be caring about it again, and they'll go right back to the shit they do now. There's no reason for them not to.
All it's going to take is someone with notoriety to find out that their information was duplicated or violated. And it'll sit there and it'll simmer and it'll burn. And I don't know that, I don't know that this is going to go away anytime soon. I think, yeah, with everything else going on, it kind of gets subsumed by the other stories of the day. But if and when they find out who did it, or if and when they start getting cases of people being affected directly because of it, if the investigation continues, because there's going to be inquiries until the end of time about this, whether we see them on the news or not. Yeah, I mean, this does highlight something. These companies, whether you approved of it or not, have your information and effectively hold it under threat, whether you like it or not. This could become a midterm election issue, I think. Could be. Maybe.
How many more news stories do you have?
I don't have any more. I was going to go on to MSS News for a couple, or we could just, given the time and that we have a guest, skip MSS News tonight, do a deluge tomorrow, and get right into YouTube stuff.
Yeah, if we could do that, because our deep topic, I think, is going to be a good one tonight. And yeah, we do have a guest. And SDA, what'd you do on YouTube today?
We just did a book club with Bay. I'm still not feeling super great, so I haven't made a video, but I'm going to. We also said that our next book club would be on Saturday, and that's a lie. We're going to do it tomorrow because we finished the book already. So yeah.
So new book club tomorrow. What time?
8 a.m. as usual.
8 a.m. Eastern time, right? That's not Australian time.
Yeah, it's it's 10 p.m. Sydney time.
There you go. Satsu,
Yo,
what'd you do today?
saved money on my car insurance by switching the guys.
You want to cover your last video real quick? We discussed it a little bit last night, but
wait, which one? The monkey thing, or I mean, not the monkey thing, but the bearing thing, or the other thing?
Oh no, I saw
Linda
you bearing one
Sarsour.
today.
Oh, okay, yeah, Linda Sarsour. Oh yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, real
Well-
quick, thank you, Serenity Lotus. Lingerie Football League responds to NFL. We stand. Nice, go girls. Love the streams. Help makes my night shifts fly by. Huzzah!
I'd rather have the Lingerie Football League just bend over.
Yeah.
Aha,
Ew,
you're a terrible
Scribe,
person.
you're a perv.
I am a red-blooded male, thank you. I'm not a perv.
Me too.
I silently agree with you.
Yes. That's fine.
He says out loud. Okay.
You
So
can talk about whichever video you prefer.
well, the Linda Sarsour one was the more interesting one, I think, because it affects a lot of top tier, or what we would consider, I guess, top tier YouTubers, because a lot of people are on Twitter kind of singing out about Linda Sarsour and her stupidity. And we were talking about the context being missed in the tweet that she was talking about. Are you guys aware of the tweet in question?
Yeah, we got the lowdown from Spunky Pants last night.
For the
Gotcha.
chat, anybody who missed it, the tweet was basically saying, what'd she say? Like anybody from North Korea is lining up to come to the U.S.
Yeah, and they're not. And there was no context to that at all. So basically everybody was like, you're a fucking idiot. Of course they're not, because they can't leave. But it turns out that that was actually kind of the point she was trying to make, because Trump had added Venezuela and South Korea to the travel ban list. North Korea, yeah, to the travel ban list. And the point that she was trying to make is the only people who can come from Venezuela are government officials, and obviously nobody can leave fucking North Korea. So obviously it's still a Muslim ban. That was the point she was trying to make, is the fact that regardless of if you add these places, it's irrelevant because it's still a Muslim ban. And apparently she clarified that on her Twitter later, but I couldn't find it for some reason.
Yeah, she did. I saw the only way I saw it is Vernaculus has the two tweets together. But yeah, she basically clarified what she meant. And a lot of YouTubers jumped on her. Linda Sarsour is an idiot. She really is. But in this case, she wasn't wrong. I think she's wrong about it being a Muslim ban. But there really was no reason to add North Korea to this list. There just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I also think that adding Venezuela was weird too. And I mean, that's purely a political thing, because obviously right now we're a little bit we're at odds with North Korea. And we've also got some tension with Venezuela. And so I think it's obvious that that was just kind of added as a middle finger, which I don't think was the smartest thing to do.
Thank you, Sweeper Steven. Just stopping in to show some love, and I have to ask on behalf of the Lords of the Knights, Satsu, do you like fidget spinners in the turtle cave?
Piss off.
Did you guys see? I didn't. Cabasar of old got Sargon with that.
I know that.
Did he
And Sargon
really?
actually
That-
responded.
That totally blew me away today when I saw
What
it.
did he say?
So he put on there. He says, "Sargon, something to the effect of Sargon, do you enjoy tongue buttering the turtle cave?" And Sargon gets this very sort of thoughtful look on his face. He's like, not quite sure what that means, but try anything once, I suppose. And I just about died.
Oh,
Just about
God.
died.
That is
It was
so
awesome.
fucking funny.
I was just thinking. I was thinking to myself today. A guy a year ago I was watching as just a fan just said something that I made up.
Yes.
I just about died today. And so Cavassier of old, holy cow, dude. That was amazing.
That is super funny. Somebody needs to send that to me so I can watch it.
I'll retweet it here in just a moment. And if I'll do my best to retweet it, pay attention to the timestamp because it is a long
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Stream.
will.
It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes into the 3-hour stream or something.
it's 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Okay.
Satsu, did you have more to say about your video?
No, I just wanted to point that out. And I noticed you said like Vernaculous's post too. Like even his post still kind of was out of the loop because when he showed the comparison pictures, he was saying like her before Wikipedia and her after Wikipedia, which was still implying that she was
Right.
an idiot and she looked it up afterwards or something.
Yes.
And I was trying to like, obviously I have no fucking pull at all. So I'm just like, and that's why I was like asking around. I'm like, can somebody share this? Because like we spend a lot of time holding people accountable for their bullshit. And especially when people don't make retractions when they're clearly, wrong. And I'm like, I don't want us to I don't really care, to be honest, but I'm like, for all the people who have integrity, who actually have it, then if you were on that train, then you probably want to jump off before it crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't understand Vernaculous's tweet because her two tweets go together. There's nothing that says, hey, she had to go look this up.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He was sticking to the narrative, like, or either that, or he doesn't know that what the original context was, which is why I was trying to inform people what it was. But like I said, that video's got what 500 views. So.
It's a good video. Two together are great. I love that you publicly admit you made a mistake, and I think it would be a better world if more people did that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
think,
I'm
like-
not trying to J.K. Rowling my way through life.
I don't even.
Yeah,
I think
no
like
shit.
mistake is a strong word. I think it's just like sometimes you just don't have all the information,
Yeah.
and that is what it is. And I think people need to not make such a big deal out of it.
Well,
I
see,
mean, granted,
As
she
in,
did
like,
post
not
it
getting-
with literally no context. Like she,
Yeah, I mean, and not getting like, and by not making a big deal out of it, I don't mean not retracting it, but I mean like being afraid to retract it and doubling down and all that. I
yeah.
don't think that's particularly helpful.
Well, I don't really have a problem with the word mistake because learning from our mistakes is how we grow, and I think it's a good thing. The only thing I did today, I started 3 different videos. I canceled all of them because I got bored with them. So I grabbed Grand Monkey and put her in front of the mic and recorded until I actually only got about 5 different things that she said before she got annoyed because I wouldn't just play it back for her. She really likes listening to her own voice. I don't know where she gets that from. But yeah, so I didn't get much else done. Which brings us to Scribbles. And Scribbles, you have a lot for us tonight. Wait, before we do that.
Yep.
Zena, thank you. What horrible thing did Bering do this time? Did he support Nickelback? No. He said he'll be voting no in the it's not even a referendum. It's just basically a poll in Australia about whether or not same-sex marriage should be legalized.
There's a video on my channel if you want to check it out.
Oh my god. He said he was pro tongue buttering turtle caves. That's super fucking funny.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he was like, I think I'm gonna land on the pro side. I was
God.
good.
So I set aside all of my regular YouTube stuff today when I had time during work and just did nothing but ads all day. And I just chipped away at these. So I'm going to start right now, not waste any more time because I got 11 of them to go through. I'm going to try to give them all the justice I can, given everybody's donations, and thank everybody again. So I put them in a particular order. We're going to start from the top. So this was Sanguine asking for a movie trailer about rediscovering a lost store of knowledge during a new dark age given rise to by the total victory of SJWs. Okay, here we go. In the year 2057, Anita Sarkeesian enters her 4th term as High Sage, ruling over what was once problematically called the United States, but has instead become the diverse lands of indigenous peoples upon which we are but humble trespassers. It is a world where the past has all been but forgotten. The peace that comes from the absence of independent thought and critical thinking stretches across the land like a warm, cloying blanket of cultural claustrophobia. But in a darkened basement, in the forsaken no-go zone, a mischievous child finds a tattered green flag bearing crossed lines and a shamrock, and nothing will ever be the same. Sanguine Productions brings you a horrifying vision of the future where a sleepy-eyed frog is its only hope. Coming soon, The Fall of Social Justice Part 1, Chatelet Rising. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Very nice.
Next, Kagamandoa wanted a post-World War V propaganda video against communism. All right. Citizens, the war might be over, but the battle never truly ends because ideas are bulletproof. It was communism that brought us the 5th World War, and it will be communism that brings us the 6th if the loyal patriots of the Republic of Canada never ever let their guard down. We all saw the ravages of the Red Scourge during the Battle of Champagne and in the fight for Saskatoon. We can never let it happen again. Be sure to jetpack over to the Canada Office of Patriots in the state of North Korea today and pick up your own anti-commie community kit. Stay vigilant for the Republic.
Well done, well done.
Okay, Dark Shade wanted a Lords of the Night superhero origins trailer. Now, I'm particularly proud of this one, which means it's awful. So here we go. After Irate Bear lets loose a radioactive fart that engulfs the Lords of the Night, a strange glow appears on their skin and then slowly disappears. Soon after, amazing powers begin to manifest in the talkative trio. Thus emerged the Panting Honky, whose superpower is that he can drink an unending amount of fluid and never be full or quenched. Some dumb mathematician, able to solve any puzzle with her giant hands. And Snide Trite, able to ineffectually insult any human being on the earth. See The Lords of the Night Origins, a Dark Shade production. Okay.
Well done.
Silence.
I'm not in it, so I ain't seeing shit.
I know, yeah. if I knew you'd be here, I would have added you in there somewhere too.
And the black guy, that's it.
And Black
the
Man.
black guy.
Circus Zero, Black Man, I don't know. Circus Zero wanted me to do a Scribe's Chocolate Eclairs because he remembered, I'm assuming Circus Zero's a he, I apologize, remembered my mentioning that I really loved chocolate eclairs on an old stream of mine. So, treat yourself to the sweetest thing this side of tooth decay with chocolate eclairs by Scribelight. Made with only the finest pastry dough, custard filling, and dark chocolate drizzle, each bite will bring you an oral orgasm. I mean, they're mouth-wateringly good. Chocolate eclairs by Scribelight. He makes them himself, so you can't have any. Go make your own, losers. All right.
Nice.
Okay, this one is for the B-movie fans out there because Timothy Seelbeck wanted The Toxic Avenger versus Chud. A grudge match 30 years in the making and on a budget of what could be found under the couch cushions. Trauma Entertainment and New World Pictures brings you The Toxic Avenger versus Chud, Twilight of Humanity. See the heroic Toxie take on the cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers in a slimy, smelly, disgusting fight for the fate of all Tromaville. Will our irradiated rogue be able to mop up the scourge of the underworld in time to save his beloved Sarah from a fate worse than New Jersey? Find out in The Toxic Avenger vs. Chud, Twilight of Humanity, directed by Timothy Seelbeck.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Next, we have Cavassier of Old. He wanted The Black Hole, which is a very old Disney movie, featuring the Serenity cast. So here we go. The space vessel USS Palomino was only trying to get home to Earth, but a mission of mercy to help a ship adrift near a black hole would change everything and bring the crew to the edge of oblivion. Starring Nathan Fillion as Dr. Hans Reinhardt, Alan Tudyk as Dr. Alex Durant, Adam Baldwin as Captain Dan Holland, Sean Mayer as Lieutenant Charlie Pizer, Jewel State as Dr. Kate McRae, Ron Glass as Captain Star, and Summer Glau and Morena Baccarin as the voices of robots Vincent and Bob. The journey begins where everything ends, in The Black Hole, a Cavassier of Old production.
Very nice. Dun, dun, dun. Real quick, I just put maladjusted one in timeout. I did not mean to maladjusted one. The damn chat jumped. That was not meant for you. I apologize. I love you. You are awesome.
Oh no!
Hey.
Sorry about that.
That's my homie. You put my homie in timeout.
I love maladjusted one. I did not mean that was meant for I am cancer, and it jumped right as I did it. I apologize. Sorry about that.
Oh my god!
All right. Well,
you sound like a fucking surgeon that just made. I was going after the cancer, and I accidentally got your lungs.
oops, I dropped my junior mints in. Sorry.
We replaced your heart with a baked potato.
Wait. What movie's the Junior Mints from?
It's not a movie. It's a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know. I just remembered it from something.
Yeah, I know. Kramer was watching a surgery at like the and he dropped some Junior Mints into the hole as they sewed it up, and so someone had like Junior Mints sewed up inside their chest cavity. Okay, the next one. Cryptic requested a radiated land for sale post North Korea being nuked. So a land for sale after North Korea has been nuked.
Fallout.
Okay. Hey there, folks. Here at Nuclear Ned's Irradiated Real Estate, we specialize in only the finest and most affordable semi-inhabitable property on the planet. Our glassed-over ground game is the best in the business, and we are proud to announce that Nuclear Ned's has gotten exclusive rights to sell you the prime leftovers of what used to be North Korea. And for a limited time, you can get your piece of land at 50% the usual upfront fee. We call it the Down Payment Reduction Kickoff, or DPRK. So when you think contaminated wasteland, think Nuclear Neds. Okay.
I'll take it.
All right.
You should have
next.
mentioned all the little fat skeletons that would be laying around.
All right. So Cavassier of Old also requested a post-apocalyptic world movie trailer starring Moses and Ramses. So here we go. The Bible Cinematic Universe presents What If Pharaoh Ramses had not surrendered to God's will? Enter a world where the Nile is a river of blood. The land is infested with toads, lice, and wild beasts. Disease and storms ravage mankind, and the world is naught but darkness. And imagine that Pharaoh and Moses have been cursed to live forever to witness the folly of their choices and their failures. Cavassier of Old Productions brings you an apocalyptic vision of hell on earth. Plague World, The Chronicles of Moses, Part 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like how you like putting part 1 in there. There's definitely gonna be a part 2.
Oh, well, I mean,
It's absolutely gonna happen.
if it's the Bible Cinematic Universe, it's got to happen.
Indeed.
Okay. Then Cryptic asked me to do an ad for Forrest Gump. No special conditions, just
Well,
an ad for Forrest
in
Gump.
fairness, he didn't ask for an ad for Forrest Gump. He asked for an ad with all of the components of Forrest Gump.
Yeah, well, I got an idea, and so shit, this is going to make everybody laugh. Here we go. Relive the hilarious and heartbreaking trip through modern history with a mentally handicapped everyman and the legless wonder who was his best friend. New on Blu-ray, Paramount Pictures presents Forrest Gump, the He Totally Doesn't Have AIDS at the End special edition. Watch as a simple Southern simpleton bumbles his way through the most important events of the late 20th century while totally avoiding getting AIDS from the disease-ridden party girl who was the love of his life. Forrest Gump, the He Totally Doesn't Have AIDS at the End special edition, now available at cryptic box stores near you.
You know, that is something I've always wondered about, how he didn't end up with AIDS.
Well, the running fan theory is that Jenny had a relapse after she had the kid, but before she met Forrest and like used a dirty needle or something.
Hey, her name is Jenny. Get it right.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Oh yeah, Jenny.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
But that
That's
would,
the theory.
I mean, that's some fast acting AIDS.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what the turnaround is for AIDS back before they had medications for it. I don't know. Okay, Ms. Slim 1 requested a
He's gotten
special.
herpes from her.
Yeah, that's probably true. But he didn't sleep with anybody but her in his entire life. So, Ms. Slim 1 wanted special sunblock for Antifa. All right, here we go. Defeating fascism is hard work. Oh, you got a super chat. I'll wait.
Thank you, Sanguine. Too many chromosomes made him immune.
Oh, God. Okay.
Maybe that's why Magic Johnson's still alive.
Go!
That's not nice.
That's
Okay.
not nice, but come on. He's had AIDS since it started.
I know. He's patient zero. Great minds. I love you, Monkey.
Love you back.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Defeating fascism is hard work. Long days of tipping over trash cans in the hot sun can take its toll on your semi-exposed skin. That's when Antifa needs sunscreen. Oh, okay. So sorry, let me back up. So when Antifa needs sunscreen, they choose Black Bandana. Black Bandana is the SPF 100 sunscreen that's pH balanced specifically for the bridge of your nose and your forehead, the areas of the face most vulnerable to UV rays by Antifa. So go out there and kick a dumpster with a new sense of confidence thanks to Black Bandana by Miss Slim 1.
Black Bandana.
Black Bandana. Okay.
Black Bandana.
And the last one.
Have you ever noticed real quick that,
Mhm.
that there are no black people in Antifa?
I don't know if that's true. I'm pretty sure I've seen
They're
some.
very few, but
Yeah,
I've never seen
okay.
one.
At least as far as you can make out underneath all the sunglasses and hoodies and everything else.
Them are some white motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. All right, so this is the last one. Captain Brambles asked for an ad essentially for me, the Scribe Light. And Captain Brambles, as I was looking at this and thinking about it, it actually turned into a song.
Self-deprecation in 3, 2.
Pretty much. So here we go. I'm going to sing.
Oh God.
Now listen to the story of a man named Scribe, the silliest wordsmith who ever was alive. If people want ads, then he'll oblige until his brain is totally fried. Poached, that is. Sunny side. Over easy. Well, next thing you know, old Scribe is all done. 11 ads written, and most of them for fun. He'll keep on making those rants and raves, and don't forget Tongue Butter Turtle Caves.
Nice. Very
And
nice.
that
Sorry.
is 11 ads, all done. Thank you, everyone. It was a challenge and a creative high point, maybe? Hope you enjoyed them.
I'm proud of you, Scribe.
And I'm going to stop talking for a while.
You did good. You did good. You can't stop talking because deep topic time.
No,
I
well,
already told you what it's about, so you're going to be
I'll-
talkative here.
I'll wait till other people have said their piece.
Now, this is why I said I'm happy you're here, Satsu, because you're a gamer too. And we're going to be talking about Irate Bear's latest video where he goes over the Escapist article, "Gamers are all still dead, y'all."
Are we really?
Yeah, we really are.
I'm dead,
We're dead.
Yes.
but I don't want to be dead.
Too bad.
You mean to tell me with like esports becoming an actual national thing, grossing more money than most actual sporting events? And never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. You need to throw all of that out. And you know why? Because sometimes people are mean when they play games.
Wait. If I'm dead, does that mean that I get to stop aging?
Well,
I mean, if you like to substitute aging for melting, then sure.
No, but you are subject to the estate tax now.
yes.
Aww. I don't like being dead. It's not fun.
It can be.
It's fun for necrophiliacs.
Okay, we're going to start with just the first two sentences of this, which are actually very long sentences. Although gaming is alive and well, the basement-dwelling Mountain Dew goblin teenager stereotype who screams at his mother for interrupting his boob-modded Call of Duty match to give him his pizza rolls image others have of gamers is still very troublesome. It's an image we need to resist. I don't know anybody, not a single.
Sorry.
We're all gamers. How many of you live in your mom's basement?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so there we go. We've killed that already. I do love pizza rolls. I'll give him that part.
Yeah, that's true. But also, like, PewDiePie is the most popular gamer in the world, arguably. I think pretty fairly arguably. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't fit that stereotype.
Well, like gaming has become almost sickeningly like mainstream now, like to the point to where obviously like there's gonna be some people who obviously wanted to jump on the train. Like there's a lot of people who weren't in gaming back then who are now in gaming, and I understand it's a lot more accessible and all that shit. I get all that or whatever, but like that stereotype has been dead forever. Like nobody believes in that shit. Like the basic image of a gamer now, oddly enough, is like some fucking, it's like a woman, actually. It's like a fucking mom with like 2 kids and a cell phone. That's like your average gamer nowadays. And I'm like, why?
That's true, especially in the casual gaming market.
Yeah, like especially in the casual gaming market, because that is the most profitable right now. So I don't understand like where the stereotype, why there's the only people who think that it still exists are the people trying to push narratives like this. Other than that, nobody believes that shit. I mean, those people do exist, but they are no longer the majority, and I don't think they were ever the majority.
They weren't.
The next paragraph talks about how.
Super chat.
Oh, sorry, I need to pop out my chat so I can watch it as I'm reading. Thank you so much, Sanguine. This is how we know SJWs were never into games, since if they were, they would know to double tap the zombie gamers. Double tap. You'd also teabag them.
Yeah. Oh, what? That's a part of toxic gaming culture.
Toxic gaming. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's relevant to the next paragraph, because the next paragraph they're talking about how gamers basically have their own vocabulary. Part of the struggle is one of vocabulary. God damn it. Games are relatively young medium, and their unique quirks and methods still aren't known to everyone. Telling a lifelong player to be mindful of their sensitivity settings isn't a really hard step for those familiar with the parlance, but has no context or frame of reference for those outside of the first-person gaming. So,
wait. A relatively, what the fuck are they talking about? Have they been to a video arcade in the 80s? Have you ever seen two guys playing Street Fighter against each other with 17 people crowded around them and the kind of shit they talk to each other during those things? Give me a fucking... How old is this person, first and foremost? What the hell do they know?
I mean, we were talking shit to each other at 13 playing Mario Kart, so...
Yeah. I mean, this is nuts.
And you playing Mario Kart at 13, that was what, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what I was telling Monkey before the stream is the title of the article harkens back to a very famous set of articles basically that came out during the Gamergate crisis, if you want to call it that, or scandal.
Well, it pretty much was Gamergate.
It was part of it. I mean, yeah, the gamers are dead. We don't need you're not our audience, etc. From the tech blogs and the video gaming blogs, which is kind of a weird thing to sort of dish your audience. And what's really interesting to me is that of all the online publications that responded first to the accusations of collusion between game developers and games journalists, The Escapist was one of the few, if not one of the first, to actually revise their own internal code of ethics in response to the accusations and the evidence presented that there was inappropriate sort of quid pro quo, or at least the appearance of impropriety going on between game developers and journalists. Not only necessarily the sexual allegations or proof thereof, but also the access, the gifts, the freebies given away to journalists as sort of hyping up their products. So it's odd that the Escapist of all publications would then indulge in this same kind of rhetoric 2 years after, or 3 years, actually 3 years now after the fact.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that this bandwagon is pretty profitable. You know,
sure.
Even if you just hop on it for a second and hop off, you usually come out okay. I mean, Polygon, like if they, you know, they got the whole dick in the mouth, like down the throat right now, because they're all over it, and like they've been pretty much fishing in PewDiePie's pockets for like the past 6 months. Every time this motherfucker sneezes, they're on. And they're like, anytime we can use his name, we will. His face is even showing up in articles that have nothing to do with him, because they know exactly how powerful this market can be. And even if you're just dipping into it on a controversial level, like if you have no investment in it, you don't care about video games, whatever, just put some title saying something potentially bad about gamers and put somebody who they potentially like on the cover. It don't matter if there's a recipe for fucking banana pudding in that bitch. It don't matter. You're gonna fucking make money off of it.
Well, it's kind of like putting PewDiePie in a gaming article is like the equivalent of putting, you know, boobs anywhere else.
Yeah, pretty much.
PewDiePie's boobs. You guys heard it here first. Thank you. The next 6 minutes. I just got 100% on the Warriors this year. #gamer.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nicely
Warriors come out to play.
I want to read this sentence, or this little part, because this is my favorite part of the whole article. The other part of the struggle is the culture itself. It's hard to push into games from the outside because there is a resistance to the concept of glossaries.
You need to use lube to push in easier. Oh, wait.
A resistance to glossaries.
Wait.
Resistance to glossaries. What the fuck are they talking about?
What does that even mean? Okay, can I get a translation?
Sure. It means that we're unwilling to write down what all of our gaming lingo means for people who don't understand it.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm about to go off on a tangent because I just fucking ran it to this dude before, because I watched Sequelitis again for like the 65th time. And I was just talking about how
Sequelitis is the best.
It is. It's really good. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check out
It's super funny.
the Sequelitis about Mega Man was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he was talking about how this kind of modern gaming world just assumes that everybody's a fucking moron. So when they hand a game to you, like nothing, you're not really left to your devices anymore, which is why Dark Souls and everything was so popular, as such a popular game, because they respected your gaming ability. They're like, okay, obviously games have been out for a long time. If you can't get into this game and figure it out, then this game isn't for you. And you can tell when you went into it. Like, this game is not just for fucking Candy Crush fucking, soccer mom who needs to take a break and play some video games. This game is for hardcore gamers, and we're not about to hold your hand. We will destroy you until you destroy your controller.
Yeah, that's what made TIE Fighters such a great video game. Not only was it, I mean, you look at it now, of course, it looks ancient, but the gameplay it is a flight simulator. You have to manage your craft in the middle of playing the game. It's not just a point and click adventure like they have with Battlefront when you're flying around in a TIE fighter. You actually have to adjust your shields. You have to manage your ammo. You have to go through it like you're actually in the cockpit.
Right.
And it makes it immerses you, and it requires you to be skilled. It requires you to be skilled to succeed. And when you do succeed, when you get to that difficulty level, or you get to that final boss and you actually beat it, not because they walked you through it or held your hand, but because you actually beat the game at its own game by being better at it because you're skilled, that is an accomplishment. It's not an accomplishment to just be shown what to do. You click a button and push F to show, respect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he I think in that video, I think that's the video where he puts in a graph, a very scientific graph of the amount of times that players have said, "Yeah, I get it," over the years, and it's part of why I haven't actually gotten past the tutorial in Sun and Moon. It's because it takes so fucking long.
I literally stopped playing that game.
I stopped playing it because I'm like, I can't get into it because I'm sitting here just like, yeah, I get it. Can I go run over here now? I just want to go see what this is. I just want to go see what it is. And it's like, no, we're going this way. And I'm like, but I don't want to go that way.
Right. Old school Pokemon, you start off in your fucking room, you get up there like, okay, you go out, leave out the house. Hold on, you can't go that way. You got to go this way. Fucking Professor Oak, get a Pokemon. You go do whatever fuck you want. And you had to figure that shit out. There was nobody in every fucking town like, hey, you should probably go do this. You just did it. And there were times where I was stuck in a town for like 4 days. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Fuck it. I'm going to just train until I figure out what it is.
Yeah, but like with Sun and Moon, I mean, hours of them just being like, come this way, we're gonna go do this now. I'm like, but I just want to go look at the cliff. Can I just go see the cliff first? No, okay, fuck you, I'm done.
Yeah.
And most of the people who play that game have played before, and literally, because I've played Sun all the way through. I stopped playing Moon again because of the fucking tutorial in it. The tutorial takes up a good 25% of the fucking game.
Yeah,
and that is
I was like,
ridiculous.
Right? I mean, I feel like for a game like that, there should be an option where it's like, have you ever played a Pokemon game ever / are not a fucking moron?
Yes.
All right, cool. Skip the tutorial.
Okay, we have a woman in a minority here, so I have to read this next part. The culture is a problem, and one that manifests itself in a lot of ways. Women have a hard time pushing into game communities without the expectation to just tolerate the sexism already present. Minorities who speak against the overwhelming lack of representation are just called racist themselves for failing to accept that whiteness is the default.
I guess that's why the female and the minority are like, hey, we should get together and stream Final Fantasy.
Well, I just think it's funny because
whiteness is the default.
Whiteness is the default.
Since when?
How do you know when you're playing a video game across a LAN network or online? What's race got to do with it?
Well, you can't play a game if it doesn't have the person of the same color as you.
I just okay, put it this way. Back, because this is a pretty good example when I was talking about back in the day, I used to play all the kind of beat 'em ups. You remember the side-scrolling beat 'em ups, Streets of Rage, Spider-Man, the Carnage one,
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, old school X-Men games and shit. And when I used to play Streets of Rage all the time, like when somebody had brought it up and they're like, you typically play with the character that you can identify with. And when I was a kid, I used to always play with Skate because Skate was a fucking badass. But not one time did I ever think in my mind, like, I'm playing with this kid because he's black and I'm black, so I'm supposed to play with him. I was just like, he's a fucking kid with skates and he's beating the shit out of people. That's awesome. I'm like, I don't want to play with no big fucking burly dude and no chick and the other dude. I'm just like, he's a kid. He's like my age and he has skates and he's like literally jumping on people's heads and fucking snapping their necks. I'm like, why would I not want to play with him? But it had nothing to do, like my character selection growing up, it never had anything to do with that. It was never even a thought. So I'm like, who the fuck thinks like that? Like
people who write about games and don't actually play them. That's who.
Yeah, that's
well. Even when I'm like designing my own character, I don't even go with that. I'm not like, okay, so I have to make sure it looks exactly like me or else I'm going to die, because how am I going to know that it's my character even though it's a single player game and it doesn't look like me? How am I going to know? I'm going to be totally lost if it doesn't look just like me.
I never got that. I never got that. I'm just like, the whole part of playing video games for me, especially, well, maybe this is just for me because it's like the whole escapism thing. I'm like, I want to be amazing. Clearly I am not. Why would I put myself in this game?
Well, let me read this next sentence.
So
Fantasization of sexual femininity and toxic masculinity is the expected norm, and any push for alternatives is seen as invasive and unwanted.
that is so
Well,
epically
it's not
untrue.
seen as unwanted. It just kind of is. But either way,
Well, it goes to what Satsu was just saying. I don't want to play some wimpy fucking nerd. I want to play a badass.
yeah.
I'm a cripple. I don't want to play that in a video game. I'm okay.
I usually, if I have the option to make a character, depending on the game, a lot of times I make male characters.
Yeah, and I usually play with female characters because I'm like, if I have to play an RPG and look at the ass of a character for like fucking over 700 hours, then I'd rather it be a woman's. That's just me. That's just how I play. And like, how the fuck did a game like Minecraft become the most popular game in the world, so popular that it literally catapulted gaming on YouTube to the level that it is today, if sexuality and fucking toxic masculinity pushes the game industry forward?
You know what's amazing about Minecraft, though? No fucking tutorial. That's why.
Which arguably needs one. Shit.
Well, yeah. Well, there's on the console version, there is a tutorial level, but it's also nothing you can't Google as well.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
So it's not like it's a huge deal either, but it's super nice that like if I just want to start over with Minecraft, I don't have to go through an hour and a half of, okay, so this is how you use an axe.
It's for the 75th fucking time.
Yeah.
Okay. One more part here. All of these things seem to stem from the same idea. What games have been for the past 40 or so years must remain the only thing they're allowed to be. Any change to format, mechanics, or culture should be heavily questioned, criticized, and thrown out if too avant-garde.
Says no one. No one ever.
Says
no
you.
one.
Says
no
you.
one. Yes. That's it.
I remember playing Mario when it first came out on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing like what I'd been playing before, which was Frogger, Pac-Man. Those were the standards before that. Games have changed so much since in 40 fucking years. You can't even compare what used to be to what is now.
Well, except for the fact that the dynamics of competition have not changed. The platform may have changed or might be different depending on what you're interested in, from football to video games to chess to poker. But the spirit of competition, the spirit of sort of like testive aggression versus your opponents, that's not something new. That's not something toxic. That's just human nature. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or otherwise. If you're locked in competition with somebody else, friendly or otherwise, there's going to be a camaraderie. That camaraderie may be adversarial. It may be, in fact, hostile, but there's going to be one based on the activity you're taking a part in. And the way this article started with like, oh, it needs a glossary or something else, it's like, okay, that's how you know if someone is a poser or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, if somebody comes to my game, my LARP game, all right, and they say that guy totally metagamed to retcon that NPC into this scene, well, then I know exactly what that guy's talking about, and I don't need any shorthand or any long explanations because I'm part of that subculture. If you come in and need to have that explained to you, well, great, you're new, we'll teach you, and then you can be part of the group. If you can't get it, or you don't understand it, or you reject it as you're making this too hard for me, you shouldn't be here.
Well, according to them, we're not welcoming and we don't want outsiders in. And if you don't understand, you know.
Horse shit.
I'm just like, come on.
Every experience I have had when it comes to tabletop role playing, MMOs, live action role playing, you know, the people who reject other people out of hand because of things that have nothing to do with their participation. Let me put it that way. I mean, somebody could come to our LARP game and be a complete noob. A word itself, by the way, which most people don't necessarily know what that means. But when I say it, everybody here knows what I'm talking about. They could be a complete noob to the game and turn out to be an absolute asshole. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. It doesn't matter if they're liked by people or not. If you cheat, if you are a detriment to other people's experience, then you're out. Other than that, short of you actually harming someone else's fun, I never saw anybody kicked out on the basis of they're a girl or some bullshit
No.
like that. Never, and not in my experience. And I can only speak. I mean, I'm anecdotally speaking, but across multiple venues and platforms,
Well,
it just
we
doesn't.
talked. Sorry, we talked at the beginning or before the stream. If you come into a new setting, especially in any male-dominated arena, you will be challenged.
Mhm.
It's not because you're not allowed to be there. It's because we are testing you to see if we want you in our group. And if you can't, especially in a game, if you come into a game that we're playing and you start whining like a little bitch, we're going to kick you the fuck out or we're going to beat you down because you don't belong with us. There might be another group you belong with playing the same exact game, but each gaming group has their own subculture.
Yeah.
And not everybody deserves to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really okay? I know I'm kind of the only person here who really like actually watches anime, like for real.
Yeah.
But there's a new anime that just came out called Gamers. And
Oh, Jesus.
no, it's like it's not even because like there are some gaming animes that are kind of over the top and ridiculous, but this one it kind of tackles like some of the issues and stuff that happens in like gaming communities now. And basically, there was a character in there that started a club for gamers, and the dude who she was courting to come join the club really fucking loves gaming to the point to where like she met him in a game store. She randomly started talking to him and he just started gushing about this game that he really liked. And she was like, you have to be in this fucking group. Now he absolutely loves gaming, like everything about it. And she invited him to the group. He came to the club. He checked it out. And there were like hardcore gamers there. There was one dude who was really good at first-person shooters, another person who was really good at puzzle games, another person who was really good at fighting games. And he went there and he was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, these people are amazing. They all love gaming and they're passionate. But when she asked him, did he want to join? He told her no. And she was like, wait, why? And he was like, because I play games for enjoyment. I play it because I like to enjoy it. You people are serious. Like, you're taking this very seriously. You have a club. These people want to be the best. I don't want to be the best. I don't want to be the greatest. I literally play games because they're just fun. And she couldn't understand that. And people were calling him arrogant. They're like, well, you're acting too uppity. Like, you're too good to play with them. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is he has his play style and he knows what it is. He's not saying that he's better than you. He's not saying that he thinks, that, you guys don't belong with us. He's saying, like, you guys are playing for your reason and I play for mine. I don't think I belong in a club where the objective is to win because I don't care about winning. So I don't feel like I'll fit in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that, I mean, I play video games on easy.
Yeah.
Because it stresses me out. Like, if you give me the option.
The article concludes with this line. Games have already changed and will continue to change, and holding on to an aggression-centric culture isn't helping.
Oh, boy. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't think, like, bitching at your friends in the middle of a game is, like, aggressive. Really?
My son is an aggressive player. He's actually broken controllers because people have pissed him off in video games. I've never gotten that bad, but if you come into a competitive game and you're not competitive, you will piss me off, and I will probably say horrible things to you. I once told a kid who went AFK for about 10 minutes in the middle of a match that I hope he was gone because his parents were beating him. So I can be aggressive, but if you come into a competitive place, you should be competitive. I can't think of many games that are like that don't have a casual mode. The game I was playing at that time was Smite, and I was playing in a competitive place, and this kid did not belong there. There are places you just don't belong. No, nobody says, that the NFL should change and make it so that my cripple ass could play. But for some reason, when it comes to games, there's this subset of fucktards who think that everybody should be allowed everywhere. It's just not how it is. You have absolutely the right to buy the game and play the game. But sometimes you're not going to fit in, and that's okay.
Well, this is the generation of belonging. You know what I mean? Or acceptance. People need to feel like they belong somewhere. But I'm like, you don't belong everywhere. And I swear to God, like, I did a video about this before when I was talking about the "you are good enough" shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but it's like parents tell their kids, "You're good enough exactly how you are." No, you're not.
But like, what if you're not?
You're literally not. You never are. You're not good enough until you're dead. Like that's my philosophy. You will never be good enough until you're dead. Like, because at that point it won't matter anymore.
I want to address something that was just said in the chat. That's not nice. Backscan. Backscan said, "Ranting Monkey, you could play in the NFL. You could be the ball."
I was going to say you could be. I was going to say you could be the down marker.
Yeah.
Wait, Monkey, I had a question for you. Back when you were playing Super Mario Brothers, were you one of the guys that would move the controller as you tried to jump as though it were going to control the jump?
No, I've never been that kind of player, but like if I'm playing a first-person shooter game and I'm looking around a corner, I will look around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I wasn't one of the guys, but there are people I knew who would be holding the Nintendo controller, they'd be watching the screen, and they'd be like almost like the pre-Wii notion of moving the controller to actually affect something on the screen. They'd be moving the analog controller up and up and up, trying to make the character jump higher, as though that made any difference.
My mother-in-law does that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my God. Pat just asked me what was my best rage moment. Jesus Christ.
Real quick, guys, this is chat time. So if you have questions, comments, if you want to talk about what we were just reading, want to tell us your best game moments, let us know. So what is your best rage moment there, Sat?
I got a lot of them. And they all range from like different games. Like the farthest one I can remember back was when I was really young. And me and my brother were playing Street Fighter. And at this time I had a severe temper problem. This was back when I was kind of a mute and I didn't really say what I felt and I kind of held in everything. So every time he kicked my ass, like there was a virtual meter above my head that only I could see that was filling up. And like we were literally sitting, like my mom was sitting on the bed and she had one of those like tall beds or whatever. And me and him were sitting on the floor in front of the bed. And she was just like watching us play. And every time he beat me, it just increased this meter that was getting me closer to punching him in the face. And I literally hit him in the face with the controller because he kept beating me. And my mom, she okay. My mom is an opportunist. Like she does whatever she can to kick our ass at the moment. So if she got to reach for something, if she got to knock something down and knock it on top of us, she would do whatever it takes to fuck us up when she needs to. So her foot was like down there. She literally took her foot and put it on the back of my head. It was like, it had my head on the floor. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Nice.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
And I was like, that's like the latest memory I can remember of like me playing video games. And I was furious. My brother was, and at the time, like my older brother, he's like a Navy dude now, but he was a bitch back then. So like the wind blowing would make him cry. And like from then on, his nemesis was the vacuum. I used to scare the shit out of him with the vacuum for like a week after that.
Lady Monkey likes listening to me when I play competitive games because I will talk to the screen. I don't do voice chat unless I'm in a game that requires it.
Yeah.
But it's not unusual to hear me say something like, "Yeah, how'd that feel, bitch?"
No, I talk to the screen too. I'm like, because like especially if like I get myself into a situation I wasn't ready for. Because I'll just be like, "Oh my God, no, I'm sorry. We can call your mom. We can go out to dinner with your mom. It's fine. Just see her for Christmas and it'll be fine. You know what? Have your people come. Okay, bye."
Scribbles, do you have any angry gaming moments?
Angry gaming moments.
Like a rage moment.
God. The ones that come to mind are all at at my LARP game, but they're not mechanical in a way because LARPs are more both political, both in game and out of character. So yeah, I have a lot of rage moments there. As far as like gaming, like video gaming. Oh, I know. Okay, well, I mean, it was sort of like rage, I suppose. The first one that comes to mind is when I got my first copy of Doom 2.
Oh, okay.
When we had a Mac computer at my house way back when, and the very first time I ever got like a real like scary video game, was Doom 2, and it came on floppy disks. And so I load this thing up and I try to play it, and it crashes immediately and says, cannot find floating co-point processor. And I had no idea what that was. And this is very early on in my computer days. And I was like, what does that mean? And so I got into my, was it 46.6 modem and tried to find out what's going on, but that didn't work. So I called their service number and I was like, what's a floating co-point processor? And they're like, oh, you just have to download the patch from the thing and the stuff. And I was like, but I don't have internet. Because I didn't at the time. We had a modem, but we didn't have an internet account or nothing. And so they're like, oh, okay, well, what's your address? And then like 5 days later, they sent me a floppy disk with the patch on it. And then,
nice.
And then I could do it. And but immediately I thought, this fucking sucks. It's the first time I'm trying to get like a shooter, a first-person shooter back when first-person shooters were still like, a really weird sort of novelty. And my very first attempt was like, you can't play this game. I'm like, I just spent my allowance on this. I was not a happy camper.
Oh my God.
Cody Markowski asked us what our favorite games are, and he says his is Illusion of Gaia. I still, I'm gonna go first real quick. I'm sorry. I should have. I was a bad host there, wasn't I? That's fucked up. Oh well, I'm gonna do it anyway. My favorite game is still San Andreas, GTA San Andreas. It was just such a fun fucking game, and the way that they slowly built you up, and by the end of it, you're this badass who's pulling off an Ocean 11 style theft at a casino. It was just such a fun game. There's so many other great games though, but that would have to be my all-time favorite.
Well, everybody here should already know what my favorite is because I won't shut the fuck up about it. And if you don't know, then you probably don't actually like me.
Scribbles.
God, I got a few, but the old standbys are Vampire Bloodlines, Knights of the Old Republic, and God, there was a version. Do you remember Syndicate?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there was a version of Syndicate on the Sega Genesis, and I loved that game. I just adored the setting and the missions and the idea that you're like, corporations fighting each other and going on these secret missions and all that, and upgrading your cyborgs and all that stuff. That was like the first time I ever played sort of a role-playing game on a video game version of things. And I just fell in love with the whole mythos of it. Like it was the first time I got like involved in like the lore outside of actually just playing the game. I love that game.
I miss the old school SOCOM games, man. Those were really good back in the day.
We're doing favorite video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
My like go-to comfort video game is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
I miss the old school Mario games. I really do. I used to play the original ones so much.
I am terrible at Mario.
It's because you're black and he's white. You don't relate.
Oh, Mega Man 2 is still great. Mega Man 2 is
which one?
Best Mega Man. Best Mega Man 2. One of the best Mega Man. Yeah, Metal Man. Yeah. Yeah.
I liked Mega Man.
Jump and Shoot Man.
Jump and shoot, man. Jump and shoot.
SDA gets it.
I get it. Speaking, well, not really speaking of, but I'm gonna try to get Final Fantasy worked out this weekend so that we can do that.
Yeah, whatever.
Jacob Jet asked if any of us watch gaming YouTubers. The only gaming YouTuber I watch is Satsu.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's not true. I started watching one guy who plays RimWorld just because I'm looking for tips because that game is a pain in the ass. But watching them specifically because they play games and have fun with it, I watch Satsu.
The only gaming YouTubers I watch with any and some less regularity now than I used to. Angry Video Game Nerd, just obviously. There's a guy called Mini a True Nerd who does these amazingly epic runs through Fallout, giving himself different handicaps and things. Yeah, it's just amazing to watch that guy go to the mat as he does for those. There's a guy named, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's like Norwegian or something, Birger Paul or something, and they do really funny stuff. But other than that, I used to watch Ohmwrecker. I used to watch a lot of Ohmwrecker back in the day, or Mask Gamer, but I got tired of their just sort of goofing around and not actually playing the game half the time.
I watch Game Grumps. I watch Markiplier. Poisoning the Well plays Destiny 2 every Thursday with Clever Jester, and I watch them do that. So yeah, I watch people.
Yeah, mainly Game Grumps for me. Like I watch Game Grumps like every fucking day.
I fucking love Game Grumps.
Just about every single day. Like I wake up in the morning and I start my day with Game Grumps.
They're really funny.
If you have, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, David Tisdale. What systems do you play on?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that one in a second. But SDA, if you haven't seen the Kirby Epic Yarn,
oh my god, I fucking love the Kirby Epic Yarn one.
Yeah,
it's
you need to watch that. Shit is
funny.
hilarious.
It's hilarious. Some of the funniest things they've ever said happen in that series, and it's the best.
Yes, but my favorite, like overall, are we talking about like overall, like out of all the systems you've ever owned, favorite system?
It wasn't favorite system. It's what system do you play on?
Oh, I play on PlayStation 4, PS Pro.
PS4, I play Zelda and stuff, so I have a Wii U, and then obviously I have a GameCube, and a 3DS. And Jester is trying to talk me into getting a gaming PC.
I play on my 3DS. I love my 3DS and computer. I am a PC master race.
Yeah, I play my 3DS a lot. You know what? I whipped out my fucking Vita the other day.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I started playing my Vita like regularly now. Trails of Cold Steel. I think this dude was telling me about. It's a really good RPG that's on the Vita, and I started playing that shit. And another game I play on my Vita that I will not disclose to anyone ever because I want people to still think highly of me.
What is it?
Barney the Dinosaur.
Okay. I want to know.
Scribbles.
I'm just about exclusively PC now. I have my Sega Genesis in the closet behind me. I have an Xbox 360 that I pretty much only use for Netflix and YouTube and watching movies. I used to have a NES. Never had an SNES or anything. My only consoles have been NES, Genesis, and then years and years obviously later was Xbox 360. So I've been pretty much a PC gamer since the mid to late 90s forward.
Me too. I still love. I'm not somebody who hates consoles. But for me, I like the controls that you get with a computer. There's so much more you can do. One of the problems I had with Fallout 4 was you could tell it was made for a gamepad, and that just pissed me off because it's so much easier to just, have your buttons set and the little round. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. What platform do you guys play most? Because I would say, I guess hours played for me, definitely my 3DS.
Well, let me put it this way. I just bought RimWorld maybe a month ago, and I have almost 300 hours played on it already.
Holy shit, dude. That's a lot.
I am a computer gamer. Plus, I love Steam sales.
I'm just waiting for Monster Hunter to come out. So SDA, you better, before January, when Monster Hunter comes out, because I'm that's it. I'm going to be gone. Where's Satsu? That motherfucker's gone. He is in another world.
I'm gonna get Final Fantasy 14 worked out this weekend. I promise.
All right, you better go. Tell you, I'm gonna sell every other game I own. It's gonna be real. Y'all don't understand my love for Monster Hunter. This shit it's bad. It's problematic.
Weebo Jones just said something that we can tell she's a noob for. She said, "Those are rookie numbers, monkey. That would be those are noob numbers if you're trying to insult me as a gamer.
Womp womp.
Don't bring your noob shit to me. You know what really pissed me off? And
What?
this is one of those elitist moments. There for a long time, people were trying to spell noob. There are two proper ways to spell noob: NEWB or NOOB.
No, N00B. N00.
Zero, zero B.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
They were trying to spell it NUB.
Why? Nub?
No.
That's what you call a clit.
Oh man, I was so pissed. It used to piss me off. I'm like, you are a fucking poser, bitch. That's not how you spell it.
Rub your nub. Rub your nub was slang for like rubbing a girl's vagina. So, you know.
Oh, don't bring leet speak to me, irate prostate. I fucking hate leet speak.
1337 all the way, yo.
Have you guys heard of Fantasy Life? It's a 3DS game.
Nope.
And it's really good.
My 3DS is pretty much exclusively Pokemon. I have a few other games for it. I'm trying to remember what they are, but mostly Pokemon. Monkey is a nub confirmed. Yeah, I'm a nub backscan, but I'm no noob.
I mainly play that and then like A Link Between Worlds. And I need somebody to play Triforce Heroes with because I haven't played it in forever. And that requires friends.
I actually played Hyrule Warriors a fuck ton on my 3DS.
I love Hyrule Warriors, and I really love the 3DS version because I can actually do shit now. Whereas on the Wii U version, I'm just like, I need another. You need another person on the Wii U version. I don't know how people do it by themselves.
I did. I actually got significantly farther on the Wii U version than I did because I had like back when my channel was an actual gaming channel. My co-commentator back then, we played for like we have like 8-hour sessions. We'd play Warrior.
Like well, this was before my best friend died because we used to play it together all the time, and we got super far online because we were always at my house. But we would play like 10 hours at a time and get shit done. Then we tried to play by ourselves, and we'd be like, "I need you because I can't take care of 10 things at once, and all my people are fucking stupid."
Sia is life. I'm sorry. Fuck everybody else.
Right?
Festering Wound asked me if I ever see sunlight, and there's actually a little. I thought it was funny. My wife was talking to my mother-in-law tonight, and I could tell they started talking about me because I hear my wife say, "Well, yeah, we have to take him out sometime. He pays for it later, but we like to get him out of the house." I'm like, that makes me sound like a puppy.
Yeah.
Do they just like wheel you to the backyard and leave you out there for a while? Just like, come back.
Come on, boy, get in the van. Come on. So I see sunlight, but not very often. Okay, do we have any more questions here? What is sunlight? Yeah.
What is air?
Let's see. What's air? Fresh air.
What is air?
I do wish that Hyrule Warriors actually had an online, like an actual online co-op. That would have been slick.
Yeah, I know, right? Because then we could stream that. I would stream the fuck out of that.
I wish Akari Warriors had an online co-op.
Akari Warriors.
Holy shit, you went old school there.
I went old school there.
Sanguine wants to know what weapon you run in Monster Hunter, Setsu.
I told him. I think I posted it up there. I do the insect glaive, the sword and shield, and the bow. Essentially, those are the main ones that I kind of alternate in between.
You always do that to me. You answer things in chat, and I don't see that you answered, so I have to.
Yeah, I'm always in the chat, fucking talking shit about you guys. I mean, interacting with the chat.
Except for me.
Yeah, I don't talk shit about SDA.
Yeah, because
Lucky Seven wants to know what was the first video game you played?
The first video game I played?
All of us, actually.
Shit, I can't even. Hold on, give me a second.
Well, the first
go.
game that I remember, like somebody sitting me down and being like, "We're gonna fucking play a video game and you're gonna fucking like it," was Portal 2.
Pitfall on my neighbor's Atari 2600.
I played. I believe it was called. I can't remember if it was called table tennis or tennis on an Intellivision.
There you go.
Satsu, did you remember yet?
I can't tell you the first game that ever. No, I can. The first game I ever played, or that I can remember playing, the farthest back that I can remember, um, was it was on the Sega CD. I think it was that shitty ass Sonic game. What was it? I can't remember. On the Sega CD.
Oh, when you say shitty ass Sonic game, that's a large list.
Well, no, because back then the Sonic games were relatively good, but there was one that came out on Sega CD that was just not good.
Sonic 1 and 2 are the only ones really worth talking about, honestly.
But also around that time, and I don't know if you guys will remember this, but this is like super fucking old school. And there was this game, I guess it was kind of scary. It was called Dead Isle.
The live where it had like live action motion on a CD.
Well, not really. It was kind of cartoony. No.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
Yeah, it was kind of cartoony, but like the reason that this game rings in my head is because like you crash landed on this cannibal island, and the death scenes on this game were so horrifically gruesome that you literally cannot find them on the internet. Like they're censored everywhere.
Nice.
It was so fucked up. Like these people, like whenever you died, they would like attack you, and like the screen would like switch, and like you would see these people like reaching down into what we would assume is you down there, and they would literally just be tearing pieces of your body off, and there was like blood everywhere, and it was like the most horrific shit ever.
Are you talking about Isle of the Dead?
Is that what it was? I thought it was either Dead Isle or Isle of the Dead.
Yeah, well, Dead Isle is some kind of like horror movie, but Isle of the Dead was a cartoony video game that has a lot of blood in it.
It was fucking horrifically gory, and they also used to play this game that scared the shit out of me called Alone in the Dark, like the original.
Yes.
Alone in the Dark. That game scared the fuck out of me.
That is one of the earliest, and save for the outdated mechanics and everything else, it's actually one of the most faithful Lovecraftian adaptations to a video game that has been made to this point. There's so much.
Horrified me as a kid.
One of the first survival horror games. And honestly, if you can get yourself down to ignoring some of the aesthetics of it and get the gameplay down, it is like sort of like the first Resident Evil of its time. And it worked in the Lovecraftian mythos into its storyline expertly. The sequels, ignore the sequels. All the sequels to Alone in the Dark are bullshit. But that original one is awesome.
Thank you, David Tisdale. Pong. That's an old one.
Yep.
The oldest game you played was the first one.
Yeah. I've enjoyed this conversation tonight. This is fun.
Yeah.
I like video games. I really do.
Yeah, it is fun. It's always fun when Satsu's here.
Yay.
Faith wants to know if we ever played the Myst games. I own them all. I've only actually played the first one. I got a set that was... There was a Sam Goody here that went out of business, and they sold all of their games really cheap, and they had a set that had all of the Myst games.
Wait,
I got it for like Myst.
I'm trying to think of what that is.
Action game. It was very big game. Very big with female gamers because it's not a reaction game. There's no. And I'm not being mean to women here, but it did play very well with women because it's basically a casual game. I've played the first one. I didn't care for it. I don't like point and click adventures.
Some of them are good. Like, I don't know. It depends. I used to play a couple of them back in the day. Do you? Okay. I don't know why, but me and my friend, for a while, one of my childhood friends that I kind of recently just ran back into, we were talking about if you guys, maybe you guys don't know about it, but there was these typing games that they used to let us play in school. Yeah. The fucking Mavis Bacon fucking typing class games or whatever. I think that's what they were called. And that was back when like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego was like super popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And these games, oh my God, I don't know why I remember them so vividly, but they were so weird. But they taught you how to type. They taught you how to fucking type. You learn how to type, but they were so strange.
Well, it's like Beyond Zork. You ever play Beyond Zork, text-based adventure game?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh man, yeah. You want to learn about like trying to find esoteric commands to try to put in there to see what they would allow you to do, like go north.
Yes, yes.
Eat rat or something. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Command not understood. Yeah. Thank you, Sanguine. Which one of you would be the first to murder the others if you played Dokapon Kingdom?
Never played it. Don't care.
Never played it.
The first to murder anybody would be SDA.
What? Probably. Probably.
I love the shock and then realization. She's like, oh wait, oh yeah.
Well, it
No,
does.
I'm a grumpy gamer if I get really competitive.
It also depends on if it's that time of the month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if it's that time of the month, I'm definitely more likely to be nice.
I made a double reference there.
Yes, you did.
It ain't the 26th. Oh shit, it's the 27th.
It's stream lore that SDA is nicer when she's, you know.
Jacob Jett wants to know the worst game we've ever played.
The game of love.
Nice.
I'm sad now.
The worst game I've ever. We're talking about video games, yes.
Madden 95.
The worst game I've ever played.
No, maybe it's 96. I just remember their campaign for this game. Just it was so stupid. I think it was 96 because the one before had been the best football game you'd ever played. It really was. It was a great game. And then their ad for it actually for the next year actually said, "What do you do when you've made the greatest football game of all time? Change everything."
Yeah.
And they did, and it sucked so bad. I had bought the game. I played it maybe 3 times, and it's like, fuck it, I'm not playing this.
Game I ever played. Oh, I swear to God that this was the case before Angry Video Game Nerd ever existed. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I rented that game 5 times from my video store just because every time I thought maybe I was missing something or I just wasn't reading the instructions correctly. No, that game is fucking horrible, and it was one of those things that I just never got over as a kid. It's like, oh my God, why can't I win this?
For worst game, Croaky says the crying game, hands down.
Wow.
Yeah, if you lose that game, you've got trouble.
Okay. Satsu, worst game?
Man, I don't even know. I can't think of a game that I've actually hated that much for some reason. Because like anytime I ever play a game where I'm like, this game is beyond shitty, I like burn it from my brain, and it's like gone. So I can't think of anything right now. I know I've played some really shitty games, but for whatever reason, I can't think of it.
Yeah,
SDA.
I can't. I'm like in the same boat as Satsu. Is that like I know I've played games that I was like meh, but if I don't like a game, I ended it meh, and then I just kind of leave it.
Yeah, I literally erase it from my psyche. I'm just like I don't want no parts of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be positive and only think about the good things and not really worry about the meh things.
Harbos Marbos wants to know our top 3 genres for games. I don't know if I can give you 3. My favorite is role playing. I love role playing games.
Yeah. RPG, FPS, like in the Half-Life vein, where there's like a story to it. It's not just killing for the sake of killing necessarily. And I do like a good like adventure game, like a good point and click game that actually makes you think and have to solve puzzles and such. I kind of like those games if they're good. That's hard to get to, but if they're good.
Probably for me, it's action RPGs. Definitely. Well, hold on. Let me see. Action RPGs. I do really like MMOs, but I guess that kind of counts too. I really enjoy open world games, but puzzle games are surprisingly enough very addictive to me. Like I really like a really good puzzle game.
For me, I mean, you guys know how much I love puzzles, so naturally puzzle games are something that I enjoy. I like RPGs. I especially like RPGs like Pokemon, where I can be really OCD about everything and like how it's all organized. I also like open world. I play Minecraft. I enjoy Minecraft because it's like a sandbox game. And I guess we'll see how I like MMOs. So yeah.
Cody wants to know if we do or will play tabletop D&D like games.
I have often.
I haven't done it in a long time.
I don't know if I could.
Is that
I don't know if I could.
SDA? Could you do a
What is
tabletop
it?
role playing game?
Tabletop? No.
I don't have a problem with it or people that do it, but like if it doesn't involve me picking up a controller and pressing some buttons to make shit happen, then I'm just like, it's too much work.
Let's see.
It's top of the hour, monkey.
Oh shit, I didn't even notice. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for showing up every night. You guys are awesome. Scribe, SDA, a pleasure as always. Satsu, thanks for joining us again.
No problem.
Guys, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.